Darwin Platform Group of Companies is one of the fastest growing diversified Indian conglomerates with global footprints. It is setting up offices globally and tying up with companies across the globe from multiple sectors. The company has ventured into real estate and construction, stockbroking and finance, arms and ammunition, mining, airlines and many other sectors.
Hello and welcome. You're watching Business Today Television. I'm Sakshi Batra and this is Market Today, a show where we'll help you understand the opening trades of the trade today, the pre-opening action, as well as how do you navigate through the markets on a very important day, because this is the day when we will see the RBI's Monetary Policy Committee come out with a policy review. Now, while the street is estimating a status quo on the rates, it will be very important to read through what the RBI Governor Shaktikanta Das really says in his commentary as well. Now, as far as the markets are concerned, remember, as is the norm, before going into a major event, we've always seen that the markets exhibit a wait and watch behavior. And the Nifty ended unchanged from Tuesday's levels yesterday, albeit we did see a 120 point from the session's high as well. The index briefly also claimed the 22,000 mark, but could not sustain above those levels as well. And the markets will now await the outcome of RBI's Monetary Policy Committee's 3-day meet. Remember, the RBI governor himself has ruled out any premature rate cuts. The focus will be on the commentary on a whole host of issues, including the current macroeconomic factors, and even the Paytm issue, a subject that most likely is to be raised during the media interaction as well. The question is that can the RBI surprise the street with a policy pivot or something that indicates that we are now finally coming out of the status quo, but maybe with a stance change or something, we should be getting an indication that perhaps a rate cut could be coming in sooner than expected. That could be a trigger for the markets as well. Now, along with the central bank's policy, today is also the weekly expiry of Nifty 50 options contracts, and there will also be a reaction to a whole host of earnings from stocks like Tata Consumer, Power Grid, and the broader market names like Lupin, Apollo Tyres, and many others as well. Remember, the markets have been rewarding disproportionately to good earnings that have been coming about, as was evident even yesterday. Brent was up 19%, Zaggle was up 20% in trade, and vice versa in case like NLC and Reddington that were down 6% each on the back of weaker earnings as well. So that's going to be important to watch out for. Let's now welcome our guest on the show. Gaurav Dua now joins in. He's the head of capital market strategy at Sharekhan. Very good morning to you, Mr. Dua. Good to have you with us on Business Today Television, as is always. Big day today, RBI's policy meet ahead. What are your key expectations? And tell us, what is the street really looking forward to from this meet today?
I don't think there is any expectations there. I mean, I don't think anybody is expecting this interest rate cut or this thing, any change in terms of SLR or any change in terms of this CRR. And in terms of the guidance, when will RBI start to bring down the interest rate? I think that will this depend a lot on this what will happen in US. Already we know that the expectations of a rate cut in US have been pushed down the year, and with such a narrow gap between the interest rates in US and India, I don't think RBI can this thing cut the interest rate before US this Federal Reserve starts to do it. So I think somewhere in the August will be a very fair assumption that RBI might want to start with the interest rate cut cycle.
Okay. Anything do you expect as far as the commentary is concerned on the stance from withdrawal of accommodation? Should that be changed now? What is it that you expect on the liquidity measures, and how are those going to be taken in by the streets, sir?
So I think they're going to highlight some risk. There is still some risk across the globe. The new issue in terms of the Red Sea transportation increasing freight cost. The economic data out of this China is also not good. So this thing, keeping all that in mind and this thing highlighting that risk, I think RBI will take a stance of this wait and watch. There are hopes that there will be some statement, some indication when the interest rate cuts will start, or the thing change in the stance. But I don't think that is coming in this policy review meeting.
Okay, not really coming in on this policy meeting. It could be a wait and watch policy at this point in time, as we are given to understand as well. Now, let's talk about the other parts of the markets as well. The Nifty Bank, we've discussed the Nifty. The Nifty Bank was an outperformer in the midweek trading action yesterday. It was also the day of the weekly expiry of the Nifty Bank, but the up move was not very convincing. Most of the outperformance really came in from the low float PSU banks again, that rose anywhere between 15 to 20% each. State Bank of India, though, was the top index gainer, ending 4% higher as well. And despite this outperformance, the index has still been struggling to cross the 46,000 mark. Keep an eye out on the banking space. We will also be joined by a technical expert who will give us the levels to watch out for both Nifty and Bank Nifty in a while. We'll also look at how the global market setup is. So the benchmark, Sensex and the Nifty indices are likely to open on a higher note today, as are the trends given in the GIFT Nifty indicating a positive start. And this is following the US markets overnight that climbed to a more than a 2-year peak, the S&P 500 closing at a record high, as strong earnings offset the jitters related to the US regional banks and China markets as well. We've also seen the bond yields rise as comments from the Federal Reserve officials reaffirmed expectations that the central bank may not really cut rates soon. And the US dollar also retreated and the oil prices rose as well. As far as the Asian markets are concerned, they climbed again across the board as investors look towards China's inflation figures and also the Reserve Bank of India's rate decision as well. So those are the two important points that we need to keep an eye out on as far as the global markets are concerned too. Mr. Dua, to you, how do you really see the way the macro setup in terms of the global setup is concerned at this point in time? Anything with regards to flows that you are looking at that would be important to track from now on?
See, in the short term, the FII flows are just likely to stay volatile, and it is practically impossible to this thing predict the flows, FII flows in the short term. However, what we see on a 12-month cumulative basis, FII flow actually moved from negative to plus in May 2023 after a gap of 18 months. And this event, what we have seen, if we track it on a 12-month basis, when it moves from the negative side to the plus side, it stays for at least a year. So I think FII flows will be very this thing volatile in the short term. However, the 12-month this thing trend is still there in the plus side. Also, the this domestic flows are extremely strong. We are adding close to 1,000 crores into equity markets on a daily listing basis. If you take into account the SIPs, lump sum, basically inflows from insurance companies, pension funds, and EPF. So I think these domestic flows are extremely strong, and that is going to support the markets.
Okay, let's now look at some of the stocks that we will keep an eye out on as well in today, and which are the stocks that you need to keep an eye out on. So Zomato will be in focus. The company has announced liquidation of its step-down subsidiary, Zomato Vietnam Company, with effect from February 2nd, and also Lunchtime, which is a step-down subsidiary of Zomato in the Czech Republic, that has also been liquidated with effect from February 6th. We'll have to watch as to how will the stock really react to this one. Tata Consumer Products, of course, the earnings interaction. The company has registered a 17% year-on-year decline in the consolidated profit, 300 crores for the December quarter this time around. Despite healthy operating numbers, it was impacted by the exceptional loss of 91 odd crores. Revenue from operations grew 9.5% year-on-year to 3,804 crores for the quarter as well. So we'll keep an eye out on Tata Consumer Products. There could be a downtick. Apollo Tyres, again, the tire manufacturing company, has recorded a consolidated profit of 496 crores for the third quarter, growing 78% on a year-on-year basis. This is despite the muted top line, backed by healthy operating numbers. The revenues during the period just grew by about 2.7%, although this is tad lower than the peers that have reported the numbers in the same space from the tire companies. Power grid, that's going to be important to watch out for. The state-owned electric services company has recorded a 10.5% year-on-year growth in the consolidated net profit to 4,028 crores, and the revenues from operations have grown 2.5%. SJVN, and that's going to be in focus. The company has received a letter of intent from Gujarat Urja Vikas Nigam for 200 megawatt solar power project, and the tentative cost in the construction development will be 1100 crores. SJVN has been in an uptrend, and this stock would be in focus because of the news flow. From the paper companies, UK Paper announced its numbers, registering 29% year-on-year decline in the consolidated profit, and at 236 odd crore rupees as well. Now, when we talk about the impact that was seen on the sales realization, that has something to be watched out for in the earnings. Lupin is going to be in focus again. And now, its company has clocked in a fourfold increase in the consolidated profit at 613 crores for the quarter ended December FY24 against a 153 odd crore rupees that was seen in the year ago period, backed by the growth across segments, with US businesses growing 23.7% and the India business growing at 13.4%. Mr. Dua, anything from the earnings that has surprised you on the upside? Any outperformances, underperformances that you may want to highlight?
So I think this is one thing which stands out is that the large cap pharma exporting companies have done very well, be it the Sun Pharma or Lupin. They have shown extremely strong growth in US, and we've got this got this Biocon also to announce its numbers today, and I think they'll be quite strong. So I think pharma, as you know, as I've been saying on your show, I think pharma is going to outperform in this year, and it is starting to show in the numbers. It is starting to show in the share prices, and I think it is only only the beginning. On the other hand, what we have seen is that there is like slowdown in the spending. Other consumer companies, be it the say fans and this electric goods, or on the other side, it is the it is the the QSR companies. They have all shown this slower growth. So there is some slowdown in terms of the spending also in the urban areas now. So I think these are the two distinct standout points from the results.
Okay, pharma definitely an outperformer could be going forward from here. So a clear watch from Mr. Dua. The markets have hit pre-open. It's a mixed trade that you're looking at. The Nifty opening about 96 points lower, 21,870. That's the level at which the Nifty is opening at this point in time. But it's recovering the losses already, and it will settle in just about some time. So 22,000 now 12 on the Nifty. It's now up by about 0.4% odd. So a sharp uptick now being seen on the Nifty in the pre-open. Volatile trade as of now, but it's looking like it may hold on to the 22,000 mark as well. Let's pull up a few stocks and to see how are they really reacting to the numbers, as well as what the clear opening looks like. Let's look at Paytm first. Remember, yesterday was the first day when Paytm showed a 10% upper circuit. It's again at a 10% upper circuit, 9.8% higher, 545 right now. Paytm would be under clear watch list. Remember, 4 consecutive lower circuits, and then the buying started to happen from Paytm. It's now up another 9.8% in trade, 545 being seen on Paytm already in trade as well. But perhaps there is one section of the investors that believe that the punishment was too harsh and too much, and that has probably penciled in all the pain points for Paytm, and which is why 2 consecutive days of sharp up move on Paytm can be seen. Let's look at the other stocks. Let's look at Lupin, that's reacting to its numbers, a fourfold increase in the consolidated profit, for this quarter, and how that has really reacted to the numbers. Let's look at Lupin and the entire pharma space as well, which Mr. Dua is very positive on. A 10% up move. 1753 currently on Lupin, a very, very strong number really coming in, and the market's rewarding the numbers over there. On the downside, let's look at Tata Consumer Products and Apollo Tires. How are these two companies really reacting? Tata Consumer Products actually not too bad. It's about 2% higher in trade. About 0.4% higher in trade. 1170 can be seen on Tata Consumer Products. Let's also look at Apollo Tires. Although the growth in profits was pretty impressive, but it's the top line that has been muted for Apollo Tires, 1.14% higher, so not too bad at this point in time. Let's look at Power Grid and SJVN from the power space entirely. These two companies are in focus. Power Grid on the back of earnings. And let's see how that one has reacted to a 10% increase in the consolidated profit, 4.5% higher, 280 can be seen on this one. SJVN, let's look at that one too and see how that has reacted. 5.5% higher. So these are strong numbers that are, of course, this is not a result reaction, but it's received a letter of intent from Gujarat for, an order for 1100 crore rupees of a project, and that's why SJVN is also reacting. Let's also look at one more stock, that is Mankind Pharma as well. There's a big block deal that's taken place, and we are given to understand that the promoters have, sold some stake. 3.5% higher, 2200 can be seen on that one. So this stock also will be in focus as of trade today. Let's look at JK Paper. The company reported about a 29% year-on-year decline in the consolidated profit this time around. And how, again, a 5% downtick can be seen in the pre-opening trade, 393 for this one as of now. That's the kind of reaction that we are looking at this point. For the kind of numbers that we are given to understand. Zomato, let's look at that stock too. Of course, with the liquidation coming in for some of its step-down subsidiaries, both in Czech Republic as well as in India, in Vietnam. These are the two companies that they have liquidated. Let's see if there is any reaction to that agreement, that development on Zomato, as to how the stock has really reacted. The food delivery giant has announced that two of its subsidiaries it's liquidating, just 1.5% up, not too much of a reaction. There are some companies that are reacting very positively. Supriya Life, 12% higher in the pre-opening trade. Again, reaction to the earnings, that one we missed talking about before. That's a strong, at this point in time. Another very important move that we are seeing, and this is with regards to Mangalore refinery and Paradeep Phosphates. There is, talk about mergers over there. So let's look at these two stocks too and see how boards have approved the merger over here. Let's look at how these two stocks are really reacting. Mangalore Chemicals Fertilizers, that's 10% higher, and Paradeep Phosphates, that's 5.5% higher. These are the two stocks we are talking about, and this is with regards to the boards giving an approval as far as the merger is concerned. Mr. Dua, anything that strikes you among the opening stocks at this point in time? Would you like to visit any of the stocks here? Mr. Dua, are you on mute, sir?
I am sorry. I think we should also look at Cummins, and they have announced extremely strong numbers. The distinct growth in India was very very strong, and I think that will also have some rub-off effect on on the sink on the sink the Kirloskar oil engines. Uh, that is like still to announce it numbers, but having a look at this in Cummins, I think those numbers also will be extremely strong.
Okay, let's welcome our other guest also at this point. Rajesh Palvia has joined us, Head of Technical Research at Axis Securities. Very good morning to you, Rajesh. Good to have you with us on Business Today. The opening has been volatile at this point in time. What is your own sense? It's a big day ahead. Just about 50 minutes from now, we will hear from the RBI Governor Shaktikant Das on the RBI policy. The markets have been volatile in the, ahead of the event as well. How would you look at the Nifty and the Nifty Bank, the strategies here?
Good morning, Sakshi. So, looking at the overall structure for Nifty, it's only on the bullish side only. Yes, some volatility is happening in market as if we go with the derivative data setup. Most of the call writers are active at 22,000, 22,100 strike. So if at all Nifty
Recording
manages
in
to cross
progress.
those level on a in a intraday basis, then yes, possibly we can see some bit of short covering in Nifty, and possibly Nifty can scale up to the new all-time high level also in the continuation of this up move. Overall, large cap stocks are participating to this rally. The sectors which were underperforming now started participating. We have seen contribution from IT space, metal space, even cement space. All these stocks which were consolidating in last couple of months and now started showing good traction in terms of buying. And other sector that PSU basket is also doing good, and a lot of buying interest is happening around those PSU stocks. So I think overall structure sentiment is likely to be remain on the bullish side. Buy on dip should be your strategy. Until the Nifty not breaks below 21,750 mark, I think one should remain on the buying side of trade. Whatever minor dips you are getting in this volatility should be used as a buying opportunity. For today's trading setup, our important level on the downside is at 21,870. If Nifty spots holds those levels, yes, we will be ready to deploy some of the long trades in the Nifty with stop loss of 21,850. And on the higher side, we are projecting target for intraday basis around 22,040, 22,100 for Nifty spot. For Bank Nifty, yes, there is some underperformance compared to the Nifty, as large cap private banks are not participating to this rally. But on the other hand, most of the PSU stocks are doing good, and we believe that some traction is likely to be there in Bank Nifty also once it crosses above 46,100 mark. If we able to cross those level, then there would be a short covering in Bank Nifty also, and then possibly Bank Nifty can also contribute to this upward momentum, and we can see higher level towards 46,600 to 46,800. On the downside, till Bank Nifty is holding above 45,600, I think trend is likely to be remain on the bullish side for Bank Nifty also.
Okay, Rajesh, so that's as far as the strategy is concerned, both on the Nifty and the Nifty Bank. Tell us, Rajesh, your two stock ideas for today.
I think one stock that we like is from real estate space, that is DLF. Very strong action is taking place in DLF, and the kind of traction which we are seeing in the real estate space, we believe that DLF can continue further more upside. Possible target on the higher side we can see towards 860 to 870 on a positional basis. One can buy and accumulate this stock with stop loss of 810. The other stock is from a PSU basket, that is Canara Bank. Very strong buying action in previous session. Stock managed to again give breakout of its very brief consolidation. And looking at the overall structure, we believe that Canara Bank can scale up to the next target of 575 to 585. So one can buy Canara Bank with stop loss of 535.
Okay, DLF and Canada Bank stock ideas from Rajesh. Mr. Dua, you did mention Cummins as one of your ideas, and of course, very, very strong numbers. And after that, the stock has got rewarded as well. Already it's showing a very strong up move in the pre-opening space, about 10% higher. Highest ever quarterly revenue is what the company has also reported, 2639. The other stock, what could that be that you will go with?
As I said, this pharma space, Lupin Sun, and on engineering side, basically this Cummins along with this thing Coil, Kirloskar oil engines are the
Okay.
stocks I think that we like. And I also think that this is time to start to look at the ID sector. We
Mm-hmm.
believe that few months IT is going to surprise. And if you're not able to choose and pick the stock, you can buy the IT sector ETF. In
Okay.
the small cap, mid cap space in IT, what we like is is this Birla Soft and and this is Sensar Technologies. I think they look excellent to us. And if you don't want to get into mid and small cap, you can also go for HCL Tech.
Okay, fair enough. So those are a whole host of names coming in from Mr. Dua that you can keep an eye out on as well. What we'll do, viewers, is we'll take a very, very short break. And once we return, we will discuss more stock ideas with both our guests. And we will continue with the market's opening and more stock ideas. So don't go anywhere. Market opening very shortly.
Darwin Platform Group of Companies is one of the fastest growing diversified Indian conglomerates with global footprints. It is setting up offices globally and tying up with companies across the globe from multiple sectors. The company has ventured into real estate and construction, stockbroking and finance, arms and ammunition, mining, airlines and many other sectors.
In today's rapidly evolving business environment, when risk is omnipresent, managing risks is no longer just about ticking a few boxes. Businesses need to maintain a panoramic view of risks to stay ahead of the curve. Join us to explore how organizations can rethink risk to unlock new possibilities and become fit for future. At PwC presents De-risking the Future in collaboration with Business Today. Celebrate 32 years of leadership in business news with Business Today. From the groundbreaking AI cover of Sundar Pichai to PM Modi's exclusive on G20, we redefine headlines. Now our 32nd anniversary issue explores India 2029, the 5-year agenda with industry titans sharing exclusive insights. So, just BT it for unparalleled perspectives. Business Today, 32 years of leadership, innovation and business brilliance. Subscribe now.
Welcome back. You're watching Market Today on Business Today Television. I'm Sakshi Batra and I'm in conversation with two of our special guests today, Gaurav Dua and Rajesh Palvia, who are helping us navigate through the market strategies. We have 50 seconds to go for the markets to open. Very, very quickly, if I could ask both of you one by one on Paytm. Rajesh, how would you really look at it? It's already suggesting a 10% upper circuit again today.
I think because of news flow, there was a stock price have gone down. I think for retail client, I think we will advise here to avoid at this moment because a lot of volatility is happening and stock is not giving any kind of opportunity in the trading point of view. Yes, though stock has moved up from its recent low. So I think at this moment, 550 is the key level on the higher side until the stock not crosses those levels. Some bit of supply pressure we can expect around those levels. So at this moment, I think volatility is very high in the stock. So for retail client perspective, I think we will advise here to avoid at this juncture.
Okay. Okay, the markets have opened. Let's look at it. 22,000 on your screens, 0.3% uptick, ladies and gentlemen, on the Nifty right now. The mid caps are flying away, 0.8% of an uptick for this one. That's the index is really taking it away at this point in time. The small caps following suit, 0.7% higher. The Nifty Bank, about 0.4% up in trade at 45,970 right now on your screens. It's the IT index that's again taking the front row, about 0.5% higher for this one as well. We are also looking at the Nifty advanced decline ratio, which is indicating 1412 stocks in the green versus 219 stocks in the red. The metal stocks just about 0.2% higher in trade. The FMCG stocks are declining 0.3% down in trade. Pharma stocks about 0.5% higher. Mr. Dua was indicating that this is the space that will see buying and that's happening right now. It's the oil and gas space. There is no let up in the rally that we're seeing here, 0.9% up. The BSE Power Index is up by about 1%. You're also looking at the capital goods space. That's 0.2% higher in trade. That's the kind of move that we're looking at on sectorally. Of course, the Nifty Financial Services is again up by about 0.2%. The PSU Banking Index taking it away right now, 1.5% higher, 1.3% higher right now. And the PSU stocks index also, the Nifty CPSE up by 1.5%. Again, there is no let up in the kind of move that you're looking at in the PSU space. The Nifty gainers include stocks like Power Grid, of course, earnings reaction there. BPCL, 1.5% to 2% up move. SBI, again in an uptrend. NTPC, that's moving up 1% higher. M&M, IndusInd Bank, HCL Technologies, Coal India, ONGC, the energy space stocks really taking it away at this point. On the downside, Tata Consumer Products. Reaction to the stocks on the earnings on the downside, ITC, slightly down, 1.2% down in trade. Nestle also declining in trade right now, but a whole host of stocks that are doing well at this point on the Nifty. Again, it's the mid cap index that's at record high levels. Remember, it's the Nifty PSU banking index that's at record high level as well. So the markets are in fine fettle as we talk about the kind of move that we've been seeing. The Nifty Pharma index is at a record high level as well. So these are the three sectoral indices that are flying away at this point. Some of the big stocks, Trent is again moving up in trade after yesterday's strong move that we saw after the earnings, and you're looking at 1.5% higher in trade right now. Rajesh, to you, how would you look at the opening at this point in time?
So I think opening is in expected line as the traction is there on the buying side. Nifty is now trying to penetrate 22,000. That is the major call concentration area. If at all Nifty crosses those level, I think another round of short covering we can expect in the during the day, and possibly Nifty can move further higher from the current level. Yes, as we have seen that IT space is showing good traction. PSU basket is also PSU bank especially showing good traction in terms of buying, and continuation is there of uptrend. So I think these two sectors needs to add pharma. These three sector needs to watch for intraday perspective, as overall structure for these three spaces are still in the bullish trajectory, and buying action is continuously happening. So I think from IT space, HCL Tech is the clear outperforming stock, and stock is enjoying all-time high trajectory. So one can look to buy this stock as we believe that this momentum is likely to continue further, and possibly we can see target towards 1670 to 1700 kind of level for HCL Tech. So one can look to buy this stock with stop loss of 1610. Another stock that we like at current juncture is Ipca Lab. Very strong buying action in last couple of trading session, and we believe that this momentum can continue for Ipca Lab, and possibly we can see target towards 1270 to 1280 in the continuation of this up move. One can look to buy this stock with stop loss of 1210. And the third stock we have already mentioned, that is Canara Bank. I think that stock is also showing good traction, so that stock is also on our radar on the buying side.
Okay, HCL Technologies, there you have a second vote of confidence after Mr. Dua also mentioned the big bang IT names as well. And Ipca Laboratories and Canara Bank, the three stock ideas from Rajesh after the opening has hit. Mr. Dua, like you were mentioning, I think it's sometimes we see that somebody gets premonition and somebody gets, dreams about what is going to happen. Perhaps that's happening with you, Mr. Dua. The pharma index is at a record high, and you were betting big on pharma space right from the time we started discussion on trade today. How would you look at the move in the pharma space, and which are the top stocks that you'd be betting big on from the pharma index now?
In fact, I was not sure about this in 2.5 weeks back, and I said in our market outlook report for 2024, we are extremely clear that pharma, IT sector, and this thing banks, public sector banks are going to outperform in this year. And I said it is only the beginning. I am not this thing talking about a day or a week, and it is also starting to show in the numbers, right? If you look at the thing pharma from 2015 to 2022, these stocks were underperforming. Best of the stocks were down by 50-60% from their peak, and the stories change now. The pricing this thing pressure in US is easing out. uh, more of this thing approvals are on the way, and you have a sequential improvement in the margins of these large players. If you have a look at Lupin for past 4 to 5 quarters have seen sequential improvement in the margins. So this, when you have this and the expectations are low, largely institutions are underweight on these stocks. So I think these stocks have a long runway ahead.
Okay, long runway ahead for the pharma space. But one stock that I'm looking at is Paytm again. Let's revisit the stock. Remember, before the markets were open, we were in discussion with Rajesh, and he mentioned that the stock will be under volatility. And the pre-opening was showing a 10% uptake. But you look at the opening, and it's a downtick again. The stock is now down by about 5 odd percent. and you can see a 471, 472 kind of level on Paytm at this point in time as well. Mr. Dua, to you, tell us, what is your own sense on Paytm? How have you assessed the situation over the last 7 days odd, from the time the announcement from the RBI on the payments bank really came in? Of course, we did see a lot of tumultuous ride, four consecutive lower circuits, one upper circuit, and again, the stock is lower by about 5% in trade today. How would you look at this?
See, we don't have an active tracking on the stock, but my sense is that you are in the field business of basically wallets and and this payment bank, and that is a space which works on your credibility and the kind of allegations that has been this input of them by RBI. That in fact is going to hamper their overall business credibility. People will not want to bank or transact through someone who is not on the right side of the regulation. So we have been extremely clear. We are not going to buy this stock unless we have clarity in terms of the regulation, and this is some of the regulation seem to be this extremely serious to us.
Okay. Let's look at some other pockets that are flying away. Remember, even before we hit open on the markets, we were discussing about Paradeep Phosphates and Mangalore Chemicals Fertilizers, where the board has approached and approved the merger of the company. So MCF is actually looking at a very positive uptake. It's reacted positively. A 10% higher move is what we can see on Mangalore Chemicals and Fertilizers, and Paradeep Phosphates is also given a positive move at this point in time. Mr. Dua, how would you really look at this merger really happening, and what would you suggest here?
So I think this is an extremely good move. This thing combined, basically they'll become one of the this largest player in this private sector now in terms of fertilizers. So this will offer them an extremely good strength. This actually merger is very good for this Mangalore Chemical, because it has been done at a 20 to 25% premium to the price. So I think that gap is slightly filled today by this up move of 8 to 9%. I think there is still scope for for this 8-10% more from here. And on case of this Paradeep, I think that's a stock which you should wait for for this better entry points.
Okay, let's now discuss some other spaces as well. The power space is what I wanted to discuss with you, Rajesh, especially stocks like, Inox Wind, HBL Power. They are in news today, and of course, they are reacting positively. SJVN, but also IREDA. I think second day in a row we are looking at a lower circuit on this one. How do you really look at this entire space, and what would your view be on these particular names?
I think Sakshi power space is in buying zone only, and we have seen good traction in terms of buying for most of the power stock, be it NTPC, Tata Power, REC, Power Grid. All this space is showing good traction. As you mentioned about HBL Power, that stock is also is showing good traction since last couple of weeks. So we believe that this momentum is likely to continue as most of the stocks are displaying good traction in terms of buying. Whatever dips they are getting is attracted the buying interest for this whatever dips, minor dips we are getting in this stock. So I think this space is likely to continue furthermore upside from the current level. HBL Power, yes, one can remain invested as overall structure is bullish. We can see a target towards 8630 to 640 on the high side. In the short term, one can keep their stop loss at around 585. Another stock that is Power Grid is also looking very strong. We have seen a very strong buying action in today's session also, and looking at the overall structure, stock is enjoying its all-time high trajectory. So we believe that till the stock is holding about 270 mark, I think a buy on dip should be your strategy. On the higher side, we can look to move further higher on the higher side towards 320 to 330 in the continuation of this up move. From power space, another stock that we like is that is Tata Power. A very strong momentum is going on this stock, though there is some consolidation since last couple of trading session, but the overall structure is on the bullish side, and we believe that till the stock is holding above 385 mark, I think there could be another round of rally we can see in the near term basis, and possibly 430 to 440 could be the positional target for Tata Power. So one can look to buy this stock also.
Okay, that's as far as the power space is concerned. Mr. Dua, to you on IREDA, how do you really read the lower circuits now being seen on the stock? Is it now profits being booked, after a sharp, strong rally after the stock had got listed? Are we looking at a price discovery now taking place? What exactly is happening?
I think this space has actually seen a very sharp move, and we were extremely bullish on REC and and the PFC. We had entered these stocks about a year back, and we are sitting on 280% kind of an upside. So what we are doing right now is gradually this thing bringing down the exposure. So I think at these levels, these stocks are already trading at 1.8 times the book, which is not cheap. And from here, in the if you want to hold it for a year, year and a half, you will get some upside. But I think the this thing short term, this thing can be extremely volatile, especially since these stocks are now this thing. They are not cheap anymore. They are this priced very very richly.
Okay, there is a blowout happening in the entire insurance space again. This space we have discussed ad nauseum over the last few days, especially stocks like LIC that is like finally on the up move. It's there is no let up. Now you can see again record levels. 4% or 3.5% up move, 1081 on LIC. And of course, we've been looking at a slew of other names also in the insurance pack. So, New India Assurance today is 8% higher in trade. GIC Ray, that's again up about 5.5% of a move can be seen on that one too. These are the kind of stocks that are moving up. Of course, we did see a move on both HDFC Life, SBI Life, also, in the last few trading sessions again. So that's GIC Ray on your screens. A very strong up move can be seen on those ones as well. Although HDFC Life is slightly slipped, but New India Assurance, a blowout happening on these. First to you, Rajesh. Which is the strongest counter on the charts as far as the insurance pack is concerned, as per you at this point in time? 13.5% now higher for New India Assurance.
I think whole insurance space is doing good. I think we have seen good traction in private players also, like HDFC Life, SBI Life have also shown good traction in last couple of trading session. NIACL is also doing good, and the kind of breakout which we are seeing on the monthly chart, that clearly shows that now stock can continue for the more upside, as the recent breakout is clearly suggesting the next target we can see towards 335 to 340 in the continuation of this up move. So I think those who have already bought the stock can continue their long position with stop loss of 295. And LIC, very strong buying action is happening since last couple of months, and the kind of traction which we are seeing in LIC, that clearly shows that now the stocks is ready to move further higher. 1150 to 1200 we can see a target on a positional basis for Life Insurance Corporation also. One can look to buy this stock if you get any opportunity towards 1050 mark. It's a very attractive level again to buy this stock and decline. Keep your stop loss at around 1020, and we expect that this momentum can continue towards 1200 also in the coming weeks and coming months.
Okay, Mr. Dua, to you, how are you assessing the fresh move on the entire insurance pack, and especially on LIC? What would you advise investors now?
So that's a space that has been underperforming, and now that is find some favor with the market. But I think this space will also move just like banks. this private sector banks have appreciated, but the public sector banks have outperformed. And I think you'll see the same kind of trend here also, because there is a huge gap in terms of valuations between the private player and the uh, uh, this public sector players. And you also have this LIC uh, set to announce its numbers today. And I think if those are good, which we expect it to be good, then I think you will see this sharp up move again in all these names.
Right. Okay. So that's as far as the insurance pack is concerned as well. Rajesh, of course, we are also looking at the mid-cap space. There is no let-up in the kind of rally that we are looking at. Again, record levels being seen on this index. A lot of the mid-cap names are really flying away. How would you really look at this space? Any particular names that come to your mind from the mid-cap basket?
So I think whole mid cap stocks are doing good. Like mid cap index is continuously showing good traction, and I think a lot of quality mid caps are still doing good, and a lot of buying traction is happening. So that clearly shows that sentiment is on the bullish side for the market, and whatever minor dips we are getting, yeah, investor and traders are ready to buy all these mid cap stocks. So we believe that this momentum that as we are expecting that market is likely to continue this upward momentum. So I think mid cap is the space that this momentum is likely to continue. So we believe that real estate space is likely to continue good. So from that space, I think one can look to buy some of the stocks like Prestige is looking very promising. And I think Brigade is also looking promising from those space. So Prestige has corrected in last couple of weeks. So that's again, giving you opportunity to buy as
Okay.
stock is almost consolidating near to its 50-day moving average. So I think Prestige one can look to buy from that basket. And on the higher side, we expect that this stock can also show good traction in terms of buying, and possibly we can see target towards 1400 on the higher side. So one can buy with stop loss of 1140. Another stock that we like is Brigade is also looking very promising. We have seen a very smart run up in last couple of months, and the kind of traction which we are seeing on the short term, long term chart. We believe that Brigade is also looking promising, and we can see target towards 1150 to 1200 for this stock. So real estate is one space where one can look to buy this space stocks. Another space that we like at this current juncture, that is on the pharma space. And from that space, I think one can look to buy Suven Life. That stock is also looking quite interesting at this moment. The kind of accumulation is happening in the stock since last couple of weeks. We believe that this stock can also exhibit good amount of rally in the coming month. So Suven Life is also looking promising. One can buy and accumulate this stock in range of 120 to 110. Keep your stop loss at 100 rupees, and once the stock crosses over 130 mark, then possibly we can see target towards 180 to 190 in the positional basis.
Okay, that's a good list from the mid-cap basket from Rajesh right there. So you can take all these names down as well. What we'll do, viewers, is we'll take a 30 seconds break. We'll come back, both our guests with us. We will discuss more stock ideas with them. So don't go anywhere.
Darwin Platform Group of Companies is one of the fastest growing diversified Indian conglomerates with global footprints. It is setting up offices globally and tying up with companies across the globe from multiple sectors. The company has ventured into real estate and construction, stockbroking and finance, arms and ammunition, mining, airlines, and many other sectors.
In today's rapidly evolving business environment, when risk is omnipresent, managing risks is no longer just about ticking a few boxes. Businesses need to maintain a panoramic view of risks to stay ahead of the curve. Join us to explore how organizations can rethink risk to unlock new possibilities and become fit for future. at PwC presents De-Risking the Future in collaboration with Business Today. Celebrate 32 years of leadership in business news with Business Today. From the groundbreaking AI cover of Sundar Pichai to PM Modi's exclusive on G20, we redefine headlines. Now our 32nd anniversary issue explores India 2029, the 5-year agenda, with industry titans sharing exclusive insights. So, just BT it for unparalleled perspectives. Business Today, 32 years of leadership, innovation, and business brilliance. Subscribe now.
Welcome back. You're watching Market Today on Business Today television. I'm Sakshi Batra. I'm in conversation with two of our guests, Gaurav Dua and Rajesh Palvia. Mr. Dua, to you now, especially on the banking space, especially the PSU banking space where there is no let up. How would you really look at, this space now? Would you say it is too late to take an entry into PSU banks? Now, but even at this point, just yesterday we heard the Prime Minister reiterate his belief in the PSU stocks. Within that, the PSU banks, how do you see? And then I will come to the larger PSU story as well.
So if you talk about investment, I don't think it is late. Even after the kind of upside that you have seen in past 1.5 year or 2 year, most of the large public sector banks trade at around 1 to 1.1 times price to book value. Be it Bank of India, Punjab National Bank, BOB, Union Bank, even State Bank, if you take into account the value of its, step down this subsidiary companies, trades at around 1.3, 1.4 times standalone earnings. So I don't think they are expensive still. In fact, if you see the past upside rally, multi-year rally that you had from 2002 to 2008, there the peak this thing valuations of some of these banks was in the range of 1.8 to 2.2 times price to its book value. So I think you still have a long way to go. Yes, after a very sharp appreciation, you could have some this thing technical this thing pullback, but I think that would be an opportunity to buy. One should start doing SIP in this space. In fact, for last 1.5 years, we've been asking our investors, if they don't understand what to buy in the space, just go and buy public sector bank ETF. And that ETF has gone up from 18, 19 rupees on the downside to 74 rupees, 75 rupees in past 18 months. So that's the kind of appreciation you can also get in ETF, and I think that ETF will also touch 100 plus. So what we feel that the core income, the core core operations will grow at a healthy rate. There is a lot of this thing demand for credit, and mind you, we are at the peak of the interest rate cycle. From here, we'll start seeing interest rate fall in next about a year, 18 months. We could have 1.5% kind of fall in the interest rates, and that is going to boost their treasury income also. So I think you should not wait. Public sector banks are going to do well if you take a time of about 4 5 months on the shorter side, and about a year to year and a half on the higher side. You're going to make excellent returns here.
Okay. Rajesh, including you in the conversation, you did mention Canara Bank as one of your topics. And of course, the company reported stock split announcement as well yesterday. The stock was in move yesterday. It's again in move today. What would you say on SBI now? It's finally starting to show some kind of an up move, even though in the last 6 months of the kind of PSU rally that we have seen, this has been a rather underperformer in comparison, although it's risen 12%, but it's been an underperformer when we talk about the entire PSU banking basket. At 685, what would you say on SBI?
So it's a large cap bank. So I think yes, the momentum which we are seeing and comparing with other PSU bank, yes, it's going to be underperformance. But the overall structure looks very bullish, and we believe that long term, if one can look to buy this stock for long term perspective, it's going to continue this momentum gradually on the upward side. Only overall long term structure is looking very bullish. Series of higher top higher bottom formation is taking place on a daily, weekly, monthly time frame. That clearly shows there is a sustained buying action is taking place in SBI. And we believe that yes, if you look to buy this stock for positional perspective, possibly we can see target towards 800 to 850 in the continuation of this up move which is happening. And I think buy on dip should be your strategy in the stock until the stock not breaks below 600 level. Trend is likely to be there on the bullish side only. So our strategy is buy on dips for SBI, and we are projecting target towards 800 to 850 in coming months.
Okay, so that's as far as the view coming in on the PSU banks is concerned from both our guests. But Rajesh also wanted to ask you on Yes Bank, in case you track this stock, because the kind of move that we've been seeing over the last 3 or 4 odd trading sessions, it's shot up. Again, of course, it's a penny stock. We usually do not talk about it, and from such stocks, we always ask our viewers to maintain extreme caution when it comes to dealing with such stocks. But the stock has moved up about 35% odd over the last 3 or 4 odd trading sessions already, and perhaps the trigger could have been the approval to HDFC Bank Group to perhaps increase the stake in the bank to 9.5%. How would you really look at the move on Yes Bank, and what would your advice be?
Yeah, definitely we don't cover this stock, but the lot of interest is there in this stock from the trading community as well as from the investor community also, because most of the investor have patiently holding this stock, and we discuss with the most of the client, they are holding this stock in their portfolio after a long consolidation of 3 year in a very tight range of 12 rupees to 25 rupees. Now stock has broken out this consolidation range, and the kind of traction, the volume action which we are witnessing since last couple of trading session in this stock, that clearly shows that now stock if it's a hold about 26 mark, then yes, possibly we can see some more upside in the stock, as most of these kind of stocks are now showing good traction in terms of buying. So I think Yes Bank, those who have already bought at lower level can trail their stop loss towards 28 rupees, and possibly we can see target towards 35 to 36 in the continuation of this up move. So trailing stop loss on the higher side is the right strategy to ride this up move which is taking place in the Yes Bank. There is no as such a recommendation, but those who have
Sure.
already in the stock, they can trail their stop loss at 28 as the breakout of last 3 year is taking place. So maybe technical movement would be there in the
Sure.
stock, and possibly 34, 36 could be the next target we can see.
Okay, just a few minutes. We are just 15 minutes away from RBI Governor Shakti Kanta Das to be announcing the policy decisions as well. So, Rajesh, and to Mr. Dua again, any particular stocks that you'd be watching out for, amidst the policy decisions, and of course after that as well, which will be on your focus list. Rajesh, first to you.
So I think banking would be the first sector, and I think post policy action also we believe that the kind of traction which we are seeing in banking space, especially in PSU bank, that is likely to be continue. I think we have already discussed Canara Bank, SBI, that both stocks are looking promising. Even one can add on PNB also. That stock is also showing good traction since last couple of months. Very steady buying action is happening in this stock. And I think the kind of breakout which we have already witnessed on the long-term chart, that clearly shows that if PNB continues to hold above 116 mark, then positionally we are projecting target towards 160 to 165 on the higher side. So
Sure.
that is one space to look at post policy. And I think another space that is clearly linked, that is real estate space. So from
Okay.
that space, I think one can look to buy DLF also, that we have already discussed in the opening also. So 810 is the stop to buy DLF. Upside target we are projecting towards 845 to 850.
Okay, from rate sensitives, PNB and DLF is what Rajesh says. Pick Mr. Dua to you. Where exactly would your focus be?
So, my call will be if there is no this measure taken in terms of improving the liquidity, or if there is no such this thing comment made by RBI that they would to make some measure, take some steps on that side, then you could possibly see some intraday fall in these stocks. However, as I said, don't have extremely good skills in terms of intraday picks. That is not what my expertise is, and I still believe that pharma, ID sector, and banks, public sector banks are this thing great place to be in this thing 2024.
Okay, understood. Well, already Ipca Laboratories, Rajesh, you had mentioned on the show, just like how, Mr. Dua has been betting big on the pharma space. You also talked about this stock, and it's already up 3.5% in trade. So kudos to you for taking this one before the markets opened, and the stock is really rallied already. 1260 right now on Ipca Laboratories. Would you want to revisit it and tell us your new targets?
Yeah, very strong buying action is happening, and the kind of traction which we are seeing on the weekly, monthly chart, that clearly shows that yes, this stock may continue furthermore really in this month, and possibly we can see target beyond 1300 also. So those who have already bought can trail their stop loss towards 1235, and possibly yes, this rally can extend towards 1300 on a positional basis.
Okay. Well, on that note, thanks a lot, Mr. Dua. Thanks a lot, Mr. Palvia, for being with us on this very special edition and helping all our viewers really navigate the current setup in the markets. Good to have you with us. Hope you have a great day. And all eyes will now be on the RBI Governor Sakshi Batra 10 minutes from now. And then we will also do the post-policy decisions.
Darwin Platform Group of Companies is one of the fastest growing diversified Indian conglomerates with global footprints. It is setting up offices globally and tying up with companies across the globe from multiple sectors. The company has ventured into real estate and construction, stockbroking and finance, arms and ammunition, mining, airlines, and many other sectors.
In today's rapidly evolving business environment, when risk is omnipresent, managing risks is no longer just about ticking a few boxes. Businesses need to maintain a panoramic view of risks to stay ahead of the curve. Join us to explore how organizations can rethink risk to unlock new possibilities and become fit for future. At PwC presents De-Risking the Future in collaboration with Business Today. Celebrate 32 years of leadership in business news with Business Today. From the groundbreaking AI cover of Sundar Pichai to PM Modi's exclusive on G20, we redefine headlines. Now our 32nd anniversary issue explores India 2029, the 5-year agenda with industry titans sharing exclusive insights. So, just BT it for unparalleled perspectives. Business Today, 32 years of leadership, innovation, and business brilliance. Subscribe now.
Hello and welcome. You're watching